I moved into this super weird condo, and there have been some freaky things happening. It wasn't until later that I realized all of this was orchestrated by someone I'd never have guessed.
Welcome to Storytelling INTP, where I bring you a short novel every week. Today's short story, Don't Go to the 10th Floor. Grab your snacks, folks. Let's dive in.
This condo I'm living in is totally off the charts. Weird stuff happening all the time, especially with the elevator. At first, I didn't pay much mind, but over time, I noticed the elevator always stops at the 10th floor, and there's never anyone there. The weirdest part? This only happens when I'm alone in the elevator. If someone else is with me, it works just fine. Creepy, right? But wait, it gets creepier. I went to the property management to check it out, and when they pulled up the surveillance footage, there was nothing. Either the cameras were put, or their computer hard drives were messing up. The property manager looked at me like I was nuts, saying I watched too many horror movies. Like, come on, why would the cameras only malfunction when I'm in the elevator? I was so ticked off, I almost got into it with the guy. Back home, it hit me. The property manager himself was acting fishy. He was all nervous and kept trying to explain, never really seeing it from my perspective. This condo is just plain eerie. Ever since I moved in, nothing normal has happened. The rent was suspiciously low, and when I got the keys from the landlord, he said something really creepy. Once you're here, don't leave. I didn't catch what the landlord was saying because I was distracted by some nosy neighbors peeking in. So much to process. Let me think this through. The condo is weird, the elevator is weird, the landlord is weird, the property folks are weird, even the neighbors are weird. I don't believe in ghosts or anything, but after a lot of thinking, I figured it out. It must be some sort of reality show targeting me, like in the movie The Truman Show. Except they've switched it to a horror theme to mess with me. Once I thought of that, everything clicked. They set the lights in the hallway to flicker and added this eerie electrical buzzing sound. Then there were the sounds of coins dropping upstairs every night. And stuff I lost would just magically appear in front of me. It's definitely some sort of prank on me. If that's the case, they must have bugged my bedroom too. After a thorough search, bingo! I found a pinhole camera. The next day, in the elevator, there was this chubby, middle-aged guy in front of me with earphones. Definitely a listening device, probably taking orders from some director far away. A pretty young mom next to me was also wearing earphones and kept glancing at me. Other extras in the elevator were all wearing earphones, sneakily eyeing me. Fine, let's see how you like my comeback. I tapped the chubby guy's shoulder, and he turned around clearly nervous. Next thing, I yanked his earphones out. He panicked, almost fighting to keep his so-called earphones. I planned to grab them and give the show's director a piece of my mind. I had my lines all ready. But things went south fast. The earphonies ripped off, dragging his phone along, which landed on the ground. When the phone hit the floor, the earphonies got disconnected, revealing what was really playing. A Japanese adult film. The whole elevator was stunned, especially with the loud sounds now filling the space. Man, this wasn't supposed to happen. I thought the earphones were connected to the show's control room. I quickly yanked the young mom's earphones too. Her phone was on speaker, and she was talking to some guy. He was like, "Honey, how long is your husband away? Should we go to your place today?" Wait, what? Before I could pull off another set of earphones, the guy anticipated my move and quickly hid his. The elevator turned into chaos. The young mom was shaking, pointing at me and calling me a psycho, pervert, lunatic. The chubby guy grabbed my collar, ready to punch me. I bumped into someone, stepped on someone else's foot. It was a mess of yelling, complaining, and kids crying. The situation blew up big time. With everyone else just loving the drama, the cops got called. At the police station, I had to apologize like crazy to smooth things over. If the cops were involved, this definitely wasn't just some reality show, I think. I racked my brain for ages, but couldn't figure it out. When I got back home, riding the elevator solo, it stopped again on the 10th floor, and as usual, no one was there. I bolted back to my place, slamming the door shut, and that's when it hit me. Someone had planted a camera in my bedroom. This is just way too freaky. Who the heck is behind this? I was thinking about moving out of this creepy condo, but then my girlfriend Charlotte went missing, and her phone's been dead. Charlotte's drop-dead gorgeous, the type that even other women get jealous of. We've been together for half a year, cramming into a leaky apartment before this. I deliver food for a living, not exactly rolling in cash, so I've got no clue what she saw in me. One day, I was delivering food to her place, and her faucet was busted. As your friendly neighborhood delivery guy, I was more than happy to fix it for her. After fixing it, she treated me to dinner. We exchanged numbers, and things kind of heated up from there. In this materialistic world, Charlotte didn't care about my lack of money and became my girlfriend. How could I not treasure a girl like that? I swore to myself to give her a better life, away from those cheap apartments where anything could break any minute. Faucets, toilets, locks, you name it. But who knew we'd end up in such a bizarre condo? Charlotte disappeared 10 days ago. She texted me that day. "I'll cook something tasty for you tonight." Then, radio silence. Now, all I can do is stay here, hoping she'll come back. If I'm sticking around, I've got to figure this out. I took a day off, planning to explore in broad daylight. When the elevator stopped at the 10th floor, I mustered all my courage and stepped out. No one was in sight. I wondered if the other residents on this floor noticed anything odd, decided to knock on each door. No response from the first apartment. Thought no one was home, but just as I turned to leave, the door opened. A guy with glasses was staring at me, kind of intense, but his expression was weirdly friendly. I told him about the freaky elevator, and his smile got even warmer. Maybe some kids playing pranks. I haven't noticed anything strange. I frowned. But if it's a prank, it's weirdly precise. It happens every single time I'm in the elevator, no matter the time. Doesn't seem likely, does it? He adjusted his glasses. "Sorry, I don't really know. Maybe ask someone else?" He slowly closed the door. Just as I was about to knock on the next door, my hand froze midair. A flash of memory hit me. A glimpse I caught when the glasses guy was closing his door. In the corner of his room, I saw a suitcase, and something that made my hair stand on end was sticking out of it. A hand, a woman's hand. My heart started racing. The image became clearer in my mind. A young woman's hand with a bracelet, and that bracelet looked just like the one my girlfriend wears. Did this creep kill my girlfriend? I was boiling with rage, not thinking twice, and started pounding on his door like mad. It took forever, but the door finally opened. I didn't let him get a word in, just pushed past him and barged in. The suitcase was gone, obviously hidden. I turned the place upside down looking for it, but no luck. The glasses guy was getting impatient, threatening to call the cops. I scoffed, thinking he was playing the thief, crying. But to my surprise, he really did call the police. When they arrived, they found nothing in the apartment. Lately, I've been dealing with the cops way too much. First for Charlotte's disappearance, then the elevator incident, and now this. The officer in charge of our area is getting more and more annoyed with me, but I stand by what I saw. It was no illusion. To get to the bottom of this, I started keeping tabs on the glasses guy. I set up a hidden camera in his hallway and noticed his routine was super sketchy. He'd often leave late at night and come back just before dawn. This wasn't some night shift gig. He'd dress head to toe in black, blending into the darkness, cap and all, definitely up to no good. After figuring out his schedule, I planned to sneak into his place. I live on the 12th floor, and he's on the 10th. At around 2 a.m., once I was sure he was gone, I opened my balcony window and shimmied down to his floor. Luckily, his window was open. It was pitch black inside. Even though it was summer, there was this creepy chill in the air as soon as I stepped in. I flicked on my phone's flashlight, and the beam of light gave me a bit of comfort. The place was a 3-bedroom layout, spotless in every room. I searched everywhere, but couldn't find that suitcase I saw before. No way I imagined that. Just when I was at my wit's end, it hit me. It's summer, and if he's hiding a body, it would start to rot and stink. The only place to hide it, the fridge. He had the fridge in a bedroom, already a red flag. Swallowing hard, I walked over and opened it. Not sure if I was relieved or disappointed. The fridge was normal, just food and drinks. But then, I noticed something weird in the corner. A black box, like a remote control. I pressed it, and the fridge slid back, revealing a hidden door. This was it. The secret. The room seemed too small for its size, and now I knew why. He'd partitioned off a secret chamber. I didn't want to see what was next, but I had to. My legs were shaking, my back ice cold. Inside the secret room, there were 2 huge fridges and about a dozen suitcases, some with bloodstains. Even worse, there was a row of terrifying tools on the wall. Small knives, big machetes, ropes, tape, stuff I'd never seen before. I was numb with fear, but forced myself to look at the fridges. I braced myself, but what I saw still nearly made me throw up. The fridges were divided into square compartments filled with water. Half were empty, just water. The others were filled with human heads, men, women, all ages, all with horrific expressions. And there, in the first compartment on the right, was Charlotte's head, her eyes wide open, staring at me. Each compartment had a name tag, like a grotesque exhibit. Hers read Charlotte. My heart was pounding out of my chest. I slammed the fridge shut. I couldn't look anymore. Wait. As I closed the fridge, I caught something terrifying. An empty compartment had a name tag with a very familiar name. Mine. The glasses guy was a complete psycho, planning to fill those compartments, and I was on his list. Just picturing my head in there made me shiver uncontrollably. I could barely move, my legs like jelly, slowly trying to get out. All I could think was to escape, but I was moving slower than a crawl. Even with all my mental prep, I was nearly paralyzed with fear. I kept thinking the glasses guy could be back any second. I made it to the living room and headed for the front door, realizing I didn't have the strength to climb back up the balcony. The only way out was the front door. The door handle wouldn't budge. It was locked from the outside. I was trapped. Stay calm, I told myself. I had to think. The chances of the glasses guy returning just then were slim. That only happens in movies. Maybe the door can't be opened from the inside. I had to put everything back the way it was, not let the glasses guy know I was there. I picked up the remote I'd dropped in the secret room and closed the door. I put the remote back in the fridge and waited to regain my strength. Then I heard the front door handle. Key in the lock. Seriously? The glasses guy was actually coming back now? I was back to square one, panicking. I felt like a fish on a chopping board. I thought I was going to collapse. But then, nothing. Silence. I realized the sound was the door being unlocked. Maybe the glasses guy had set it so the main door locks when the secret room opens? I tried the front door again, took a deep breath, and pressed the handle. The door opened, and the hallway light was like salvation. Wrapped in my blanket, still shivering in the summer heat, my heart was bleeding with fear, anger, regret. I had to call the cops. When I finally calmed down, I decided to wait for the glasses guy to get home, then call the police to catch him red-handed. If he got away, my life would never be peaceful again. As usual, he came back just before dawn. Just seeing him on the camera made my blood run cold. I was about to call the cops when there was a knock at the door. Who could it be at this hour? I opened the door, and my heart skipped a beat. Standing there was someone 10 times scarier than the glasses guy. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was Charlotte, my girlfriend. How's this possible? I even started wondering if she was a ghost or something. The next second, she threw herself at me, hugging me tight. I instinctively stepped back, but couldn't dodge her embrace. "Honey, did you miss me these last few days?" She cooed in my arms. Feeling her warmth and passion, I realized she wasn't a ghost. But what the heck was going on? Did I see it all wrong? Were the heads in the glasses guy's fridge fake? My mind was a total mess. The one thing I knew for sure was that Charlotte was really back. Seeing her lively and cute self, my heart finally started to calm down. I couldn't wait to tell Charlotte everything I saw last night. Even if the heads in the fridge were fake, that guy was up to no good. What I didn't expect was Charlotte staring at me, bewildered. "Charlotte, you don't believe me?" I was in disbelief. She sighed and shook her head. "Honey, your paranoid schizophrenia is getting worse." "What paranoid schizophrenia?" "The apartment on the 10th floor you're talking about. There's no guy with the glasses living there. It's been empty. No one's staying there." "That's impossible." I was almost losing it. Charlotte pulled out a bunch of papers from her backpack, my medical records. They detailed my illness, getting worse over 5 years. I was on the verge of a breakdown. Was I the one with the problem? "Honey, I left these days because the doctor said you were becoming violent and delusional. But I can't let go of our 5-year relationship." I looked away from the records. 5 years? Haven't we only known each other for half a year? Charlotte slumped onto the sofa, tears in her eyes, looking totally hopeless. Suddenly something clicked in my mind. I rushed to find my phone, the only place with answers. The camera I installed was linked to it, and the footage never lies. I was trembling as I opened the phone. The surveillance app showed nothing but static, just like the footage I saw at the property office. I'm a deep paranoid schizophrenic. Charlotte disappeared again. I hadn't left my apartment in 2 days, unable to distinguish reality from illusion. At night, I stared out the window. Through the blurry glass, I saw the glasses guy leave again. Was all this my imagination? What in this world is real? Wait, something hit me. Evidence never lies. I rushed to my computer, opening all sorts of apps. They recorded my life over the years. Everything matched my memory, no sign of schizophrenia. especially Reddit. Whenever I had a question, I'd search for answers there. I went through my browsing history and Q&As. Nothing about schizophrenia. If I knew I had it, I'd have definitely searched it. I slammed the desk, certain of one thing. Charlotte's the weird one. What kind of twisted place is this? Is there no one normal around me? After a long thought, I decided to do something. Last time I was too flustered to take pictures as evidence. This time, I had to go back, take photos, and show everyone who's really crazy. Remembering I saw the glasses guy leave from the balcony, I knew it wasn't all in my head. I had to act fast. It was late at night, and I climbed down the same way as before. His place was clean and orderly, not an empty apartment like Charlotte said. That's when I realized too many things about Charlotte didn't add up. Our building had many floors, neighbors rarely interacted, and we had just moved in. How did she know it was an empty apartment? She took my medical records out of her bag. Why was she carrying them around? No time to ponder. I needed to find proof. I took photos of the interior, then headed to the fridge, but the black remote was gone. I searched everywhere but couldn't find it. Where could it be? Suddenly, the front door handle clicked. My heart jumped. The sound of keys in the lock. The glasses guy was really back this time. I dashed into the bedroom, panic-stricken, and hid under the bed. The next second, the bedroom door opened. So, there I was, hiding under the bed, and the guy's muscular legs appeared, followed by a pair of smooth white ones. They both kicked off their shoes and got into bed. This sicko brought a woman home. I was too careless. I knew from watching him that he usually left at 1 a.m. and came back the next morning. I totally forgot his routine didn't match up. It was only 11 p.m. The woman was moaning, getting louder and weirder. My heart tightened until it felt like it was bleeding. I recognized that voice. It was Charlotte's voice. Was she cheating on me? What in the world was going on? When things finally quieted down, I heard the glasses guy light a cigarette. Then Charlotte said, "I need to go back up." "Baby, don't rush. Rest a bit before you go," replied the guy in a deep voice. "We can't wait any longer," Charlotte said heartlessly. I fooled him with a schizophrenia story, but he's not as gullible as we thought. He might figure it out soon. "I'll do it soon. The last body's been dealt with, and I've found a spot to dump your new boyfriend," the glasses guy said. "Do it tonight. We can't delay," Charlotte insisted. Can you imagine how I felt hearing this? Each word was like a thunderclap over my head. I felt like I was falling into an abyss. Why did this twisted couple want to kill me? What had I ever done to them? Their conversation filled me with despair. They were a young couple who got their kicks from killing. They started after their newborn baby was kidnapped. They took out their pain by targeting random people. Charlotte would lure men into their car, pretending to be a streetwalker. The glasses guy would be waiting with a drugged towel. Then they'd take the victim to a secret slaughterhouse to dismember and dump the bodies. That's why the glasses guy went out every night. They got bored with strangers and started building relationships with their victims, like scripting a drama. Some victims would be in a relationship with Charlotte, then get taken to their torture chamber. The shock and despair in their eyes gave them a sick thrill. Others were scripted as Charlotte, coming back from the dead. All ended the same way, brutally killed. Their plot for me was to drive me insane before killing me. The camera in my bedroom was part of their plan. They rigged the elevator and monitored my every move, controlling it as they pleased. It was all a trap. Even the apartment I rented was part of Charlotte's scheme. They rented it first, then sublet it to me through a fake landlord. The day I knocked on the door and saw the arm in the suitcase was staged. They were watching me closely. They found out about the camera I installed and cut the feed at the crucial moment. That's the truth I pieced together from their broken conversation. Maybe the only truth. Charlotte asked, "You've dumped so many bodies. How come I've never seen a head?" That question got my attention. Seemed like Charlotte had no idea about the heads in the fridge. She didn't even know about the secret room in the apartment. The glasses guy was keeping things from her. Maybe my story about breaking into the secret room made her suspicious of him. So, my blundering into that room wasn't part of their plan. The heads in the fridge were real, all except for Charlotte's. The glasses guy's plan was clear. He was targeting Charlotte, too. Eventually, he'd replace her fake head with a real one. Do these psychos just betray anyone? I can't wrap my head around how these people think. The only thing clear is they're both devils. The glasses guy brushed her off. "You never liked dismembering or dumping bodies. Don't worry, baby. I'll handle everything." Charlotte didn't make a sound and left the bedroom quickly. My heart was racing. Then it hit me. The computer in the bedroom was still on. If Charlotte returned and saw my computer open, she'd easily guess I'd climbed down. What to do? I'd be trapped like a rat. I had to get out before she came back. Thankfully, I heard faint snoring. The glasses guy was asleep. Perfect. It was my chance to leave. I crawled out, moving slowly, every second feeling like an eternity. It felt like forever, but I finally left that terrifying bedroom. I couldn't risk the front door. It was too loud and would wake the glasses guy. And I dreaded running into Charlotte. I decided to escape through the window. I couldn't go back home. That witch Charlotte was probably waiting for me. I planned to climb down to the 9th floor, explain everything to the neighbors, and call the cops. Everything went smoothly, and I was over the balcony, leaving that horror behind. Then, I felt something on the top of my head, like all my hair standing on end, pins pricking my scalp. Instinctively, I looked up and saw someone peering down from the 12th floor. It was Charlotte, staring at me with eyes I'd never seen before. Not human, more like a predator eyeing its prey. I shivered, lost my grip, and fell from the 10th floor. In the dim light, I could see figures becoming visible from the darkness. The faces of Charlotte and the glasses guy became clearer. That's when I realized I wasn't dead. I was waking up, but the thought of facing those two monsters made me wish I could sleep forever. Waking up in the hospital, my tense heart finally relaxed a bit. Those two devils, Charlotte and the glasses guy, were smiling at me. Charlotte faked excitement. "He's awake! He's awake! His eyes are open!" Then a bunch of people crowded around me. I numbly watched everyone, and slowly my brain started to work again. Charlotte and the glasses guy, like everyone else, gave me their best wishes and encouragement. They didn't stay long and left soon after. I didn't call the cops. I even thanked them sincerely because now I was truly awake and my memories were back. Everything before was just a dream. More accurately, a dream I had while in a vegetative state. The real situation, only I know. I was the creep. A peeping Tom who used to climb down from the 12th floor to spy on the couple on the 10th floor, Charlotte and the glasses guy. I've always had a crush on my neighbor Charlotte, secretly watching her. That day at 2 a.m., I climbed down, and being careless, I fell from the 10th floor and ended up in a vegetative state. Hence, my obsession with the 10th floor in my dream. Obviously, they knew nothing. They're just a normal couple, very much in love. They visited me in the hospital out of politeness since we're neighbors. Lying there in the hospital, watching them leave, I realized I needed both physical and mental treatment. Not long after getting discharged, I went back to my normal life, delivering food. Obviously, I had no girlfriend. What girl would want to be with a poor, ugly guy with voyeuristic tendencies? I decided not to spy anymore. It could be deadly next time. Sometimes I'd see Charlotte in the building, and we'd politely nod at each other. One day, while delivering food, I went to the 10th floor, and Charlotte was the one who ordered. She opened the door, drenched. Ironically, her faucet was broken, just like in my dream. She asked me to fix it, exactly like when we first met in my dream, even wearing the same dress. I agreed, but when I entered her apartment, I froze. The layout was exactly like in my dream. I'd only seen it from outside her window. Every piece of furniture, every little decoration was the same. Was I still dreaming? Or? If I remembered correctly, next Charlotte would say, "I'm so grateful for your help." "I'm so grateful for your help," Charlotte said, looking at me seductively. Her words were spot on. My heart sank like a stone in the ocean, surrounded by darkness and fear. Because I didn't know if I was really awake or still trapped in a vegetative dream.